नमस्कार, मैं हूं आशुतोष पाठक। आज एक बहुत बड़ा पैनल हमारे साथ जुड़ रहा है और वो इसलिए नहीं कि हम लोगों को कुछ मीठी मीठी बातें करनी है। आज इसलिए क्योंकि दुनिया के जो सबसे बड़े मानवतावादी डॉक्टर हैं, उनमें से एक डॉक्टर पीटर ए मैकॉला को अमेरिका में जो फार्मा माफिया है, जो फार्मा लॉबी है, वो लगातार उनके ऊपर अटैक कर रहे हैं। और ये खबर आ रही है कि डॉक्टर पीटर ए मैकॉला के लाइसेंस को रद्द करने के लेटर्स उनको मिल रहे हैं। आज स्वयं डॉक्टर पीटर ए मैकॉला यूएस से हमारे साथ इस शो पे जुड़ रहे हैं और एक बहुत बड़ा पैनल। तो सबसे पहले स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर पीटर ए मैकॉला को। डॉक्टर मैकॉला,
Yes.
very warm welcome to QVibe Network once again, Dr. मैकॉला, and very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter, whatever happening with you, you are going to tell us. But before that, I am going to tell you that here in India, all the doctors, engineers, researchers, activists, when they came to know about this news that some organization, some licensing body issued some letter to seize your license, they are very agitated. Now they are trying to support you and willing to support you out and out. And let me tell you, not only these panelists, these doctors, these experts, engineers, rather 140 crore Indians are with you. I can tell you, Doctor, 140 crores Indians are with you. Now, I am inviting one by one. Advocate Nilesh Ojha. Advocate Nilesh Ojha is joining from Mumbai. Activist and competent engineer Amber Kohli is joining from Mumbai. Dr. Amitabh Banerjee joining from Pune.
Good morning, everyone.
Dr. Beena Raghav joining from Bangalore. Dr. Maya Balecha joining from Surat. And Dr. Praveen Saxena, he's also joining from Hyderabad. Dr. Abhay Chheda, he is also joining. He has joined already. So, welcome all my guests. I think that the whole screen is completely blocked. So look at this, Dr. Peter. Here, Advocate Nilesh, Amber, Dr. Banerjee, Dr. Beena, Dr. Maya, Dr. Praveen, Dr. Abhay, and all my viewers who are watching live, all are with you. So first of all, Dr. Peter, please you tell us what is happening nowadays with you.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, and thank you so much for the great show of support from these prominent Indian physicians. On May 26th, I received a letter of a potential discipline and sanction from the American Board of Internal Medicine. Now, they hold the credentialing over board certification for both internal medicine and cardiovascular diseases for me. I have a perfect track record now in my fourth decade of continuous certification in both fields. And as you know, I am a voluminous contributor to the medical literature. I have over 750 peer-reviewed publications in PubMed. I have 57 on SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 pandemic, and I've testified twice in the U.S. Senate, now twice in the Texas Senate, multiple other state senates. The letter that I received accused me of making claims that they did not think were scientifically supportable. And they actually picked out 5 from my first Texas Senate testimony in 2021. This is important for people to realize, because when a doctor is called to give sworn testimony and answer questions, it's under oath, and it's to the best of the ability that the doctor can do. And so now any doctor, nurse, engineer, or professional who who give sworn testimony could be at risk. They could put their careers at risk, because if I lose my board certification, I no longer will have hospital privileges or can contract with insurance companies. It doesn't affect my state licensure, but has a professional impact. And as you know, when I go on this show or any show, I meticulously cite the literature. So I've responded with about a 20-page document to the American Board of Internal Medicine asking for them to dismiss this immediately. Senator Ron Johnson has sent a letter from the U.S. Senate to Richard Barron, the president and CEO of the American Board of Internal Medicine, telling him to appear in a public hearing and face me, and we'll have an open dialogue on vaccine safety and efficacy, as well as other aspects of the pandemic. Barron has not responded to this Senate letter. So the American Board of Internal Medicine is in big trouble now.
Dr. Peter, as I know that Senator Ron Paul and Senator Johnson, they are supporting your whole idea of treatment and McCullough protocol. So what is their stand now?
Well, you're right. Senator Johnson did send that letter to Richard Barron, but also House of Representatives leader Louis Gohmert, and about 17 now senators and congressmen wrote the chairman of the U.S. FDA questioning him on vaccine safety and efficacy. They all broadly support early treatment, which has been a critical aspect to the pandemic from the very beginning. And I can tell you, it's not just me who received a letter. Pierre Corey and Paul Merrick, the founders of the Frontline Critical Care Network. Dr. Merrick is one of the leading, most published doctors in all of critical care. I'm one of the most published doctors in the interface between heart and kidney disease in the world, in history. So the American Board of Internal Medicine is going after some heavy hitters, and they don't have the positioning. So Richard Barron of American Board of Internal Medicine recently published in the New England Journal of Medicine the reason why he's doing this. And he stated that vaccination, the correct answer is that vaccination reduces hospitalization and death. And do you know that not a single randomized trial had hospitalization and death as the primary endpoint? So any conjecture about reductions in hospitalization and endpoint can only be hypothesis generating. It can only be post hoc. So here Barron is making a classical mistake in clinical trials and then actually trying to apply this in censorship to more senior doctors.
Now, Dr. Peter, I'm going to start with all my panelists, what they are thinking about you. I can tell you, Dr. Peter, here in India, people who know you, they worship you, Dr. Peter. You are not only a doctor for us, you are a savior of humanity. We all admire you, doctor. So one by one, what would be the legal position? Who would like to comment first? Who would like to come in first? Can we start ladies first from Dr. Beena Raghav or Dr. Maya? Dr. Beena or Dr. Maya? I think that you are aware of the fact that what is happening with Dr. Peter, he himself already expressed. So who is going to tell? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really astonished, doctor, by the way you have been so outspoken from day one, all the way from Dallas, Texas, and you've been visiting all the cities in Europe. And my son keeps telling me about you when you all the time come to Salt Lake City over there, and you meet them up over there, and you've been really a great warrior fighting for the cause of humanity. And I'm sure these guys, whatever they're trying to do with your license and trying to, cut you off professionally from speaking in public and, passing on this message of the false narrative and getting people saved from the injuries of the vaccine and making them understand that early treatment is the best thing that can be done. And I'm sure we'll all be with you, and I'm sure you're going to get victory. And the whole of us, all people from India are ready to back you up. All the best to you.
Yeah, just to respond to that, Scientific discourse and interchange is the lifeblood of medical progress. So the American Board of Internal Medicine is trying to shut down free speech, trying to shut down interchange. In fact, Richard Barron will not respond to Senator Johnson and actually having an open discussion. So please encourage Indian doctors in America to speak up. That group has been largely silent. I think they're afraid of this new totalitarian, authoritarian groupthink that has crept into medicine.
I'm extremely sorry, doctor. Somebody from my state, somebody from my state, some Jha, I do not remember the full name. Some Jha is in the administration of Biden, and he is taking the call of COVID-19. I'm extremely sorry. Ashish Jha. I'm extremely sorry, and I am just putting my apology in front of you on behalf of that fool guy. Dr. Bina.
Yeah.
Please, Dr. Maya, please go ahead.
See, there are all kinds of people. There are good Indian origin doctors in US also who are speaking up against this narrative, prominent narrative. Dr. Amitabh Banerjee will remember their name properly. But one thing I'm telling you is, yes, now Dr. Peter, you have taken this challenge nicely, and this is the time. This is the time that we will have to change the narrative. And from day one, we are saying that open debates, open discussions are the heart of not only, science, democracy, and research. So what we should now do is how to break the power of this narrative with the pharma mafia, with the mainstream media, that we will have to, we have got now a very good opportunity to do that. Once they have attacked, we have now the opportunity to counter attack, and we can what I would say, make our narrative stronger and stronger. Go to the people and say that, see, it's for you that all these people are doing this, and now the people have to be awakened to support the right kind of doctors. That's what, and I wish you all the best for that.
Well, thank you. That's such an important set of comments there, that we do need to engage the Indian American physician. There is a society of physicians of Indian origin, and we need to engage them. And we should have a debate and discourse like we do in cancer, heart disease, and other major topics with COVID-19, particularly the vaccines. There's no discussion. There's no grand rounds on safety or efficacy. There's no safety review. The topic is basically never discussed.
Dr. Peter, as you are aware of the fact that we have created WHO, Universal Health Organization, parallel to WHO, and we are countering every now and then with all scientific evidence and facts. So now the chairman of WHO with us, Dr. Amitabh Banerjee. Dr. Amitabh Banerjee, please go ahead.
Good morning, Peter, Dr. Peter. And of course, we are just in infancy. We are just like David against the Goliath of WHO, but still David won. So that is our only hope. And you are some of the people like you who have been consistent with data, with scientific integrity. And talking of doctors of Indian origin, I think Dr. Jay Bhattacharya also had given some Senate hearing. And Dr. Peter Doshi also was, I think, he did give a presentation. And these two people, and of course, Sunetra Gupta from Oxford. So definitely, Vinay Prasad and Sunil Dhand. I think Vinay Prasad, Sunil Dhand were also censored at young doctors. They are always speaking with data.
But they are fringe doctors. They are fringe doctors in the eyes of Dr. Fauci. They are fringe element.
But I think this
The Stanford doctors, Oxford doctors, and Harvard doctors, they are fringe element.
But I think there is an opportunity in this notice given to Dr. Peter, because this will bring the debate in the open, and there may be many fence-sitters, doctors who are fence-sitters who are actually because of their career, because particularly from people from other parts of the world working in USA, they may be under pressure that they may lose the license quicker. So if this momentum, if this debate gathers momentum, I think many doctor supporters will come forth, and because they will realize that tomorrow they may be next. So I believe that this may be a blessing in disguise. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to respond to that, Dr. Banerjee, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya is a frequent contributor on Fox News, as I am. I'm in the same group, and you're right. And both him and Dr. Peter Doshi, who's associate editor of the British Medical Journal, and Dr. Martin Macquarie from Johns Hopkins have all been active in the peer-reviewed literature and the major literature. And Ashutosh, none of us can be considered fringe. We're publishing in the major literature. You know, in areas outside of COVID, in the last 2 years, I've published in the New England Journal of Medicine. So it's not uncommon for me to publish in well-known journals. It's just within COVID, things have gone wrong. But now that you've mentioned Dr. Banerjee, remember that Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford, Martin Kulldorff from Harvard, and Sunitra Gupta from Oxford, you know, they published the Great Barrington Declaration. By early 2021, the Great Barrington Declaration had nearly 250,000 signatories, including lay people, doctors, and scientists. So that is a well-supported document that said that we should work to just protect the elderly and high risk and not lock down the whole world.
So now, before going to Dr. Praveen Saxena, I think that the Dr. Peter, let me introduce two very eminent personality of India. One is Advocate Nilesh Oja. He is a true warrior in India, along with Prashant Bhushan. As you know, he's your friend, Prashant Bhushan. You are very well attached with him. And Ambar Kohri, he's a competent mechanical engineer and is a brilliant activist. What he has done on the street of Mumbai, the financial capital of India, we can't even imagine, Dr. Peter. So now I am going to invite Ambar Kohri. Please, what you think, what is happening with Dr. Peter, to which extent India will arise, and to which extent we can support Dr. Peter. आप जो लोग चल रहे हैं, देखिए आप अपने माइक को ऑफ कर लीजिए प्लीज. डॉक्टर अभय प्लीज अपने माइक को ऑफ कीजिए. हाँ, यस, या जी अमर प्लीज.
Good morning, Dr. Makala, American time, and good evening, Indian time. So very happy to talk to you. You have been our ground level activist, a big star. We are following each and every video and your testimonies, and we get great strength from your articles. So from the early onwards, when we needed data, so you were the people from here, we were getting the data to fight our administration and our sponsored and bogus doctors here. And again, thank you from every one of the unvaccinated people in India for your great stand. Second thing, I am sure this had to happen sometime, and this has happened now. And it will be a great win for you, for all of us, because ultimately they will have to come for a debate. They will have to come for, they will have to see the truth. I would like to share yesterday, one of our premier institutes, AIMS, it's a research institute, All India Institute of Medical Science. They have a branch in Bhubaneswar, east of India. They have come out with an research paper, which I will share with you. And they have given that people with 2 doses of vaccine, they have around 2.3 times more prevalent of myocarditis and pericarditis than with the people who had pre-infection of COVID. And this is the data from the patients who have been visiting their hospital. So this is a 22-page report I have shared now with all the doctors here, and it's a good thing. So ultimately, the truth will come out, and this is coming from a mainstream media. So I believe this is the only one of the kind reports which has come out recently throughout the world. So again, I'm sure you will win. We are all with you, and any support from our side, we will definitely give. Thank you.
Dr. Corey, one of the best sources of support are manuscripts like that. Manuscripts that from India. India has a lot of intellectual capital in medicine, and more papers like that can reveal important parts of the viral infection or the vaccine safety and efficacy are highly valued.
Dr. Peter, now I'm inviting Advocate Nilesh Oza. He is the President of National Bar Association and Chairman of Steering Committee of Awaken India Movement. And these are not only two posts which he is holding nowadays. Rather, he is the real crusader, a real fighter. He is giving us a ray of hope in the court of law. In 2021, Supreme Court and respective High Court of respective states, they were not even ready to listen us. But now they are listening us. They are giving verdict in favor of us. It is all because of Nilesh Oza and his team, Prashant Bhushan and his team, Colin Gonjalves and his team, and number query like, and Dr. Amitabh Banerjee, Dr. Beena, Dr. Maya, Dr. Praveen, Dr. Arvind Kushwaha, Dr. Sanjay Rai, Dr. Abhay Chheda, and all my doctors' team and researchers. It all happened because of these support, Dr. Peter. So now I'm inviting Advocate Nilesh Oza. What is your opinion and what is happening in America? Look at this, Advocate Nilesh.
Doctor, from Indian Bar Association, we all are with you, and first we are thankful to you and all your colleagues, all honest scientists, because of their research, who were able to put the case effectively before the court. So you all were a guiding star.
नीलेश जी, आपका कुछ ऑडियो में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, कैन यू प्लीज करेक्ट इट?
अभी आ रहा है ठीक से?
हाँ, आ रहा है, लेकिन जब आप बोलते हैं तो उसमें कुछ खामी आ जाती है, हिस्सा आ रहा है. इफ यू कैन करेक्ट इट, इफ यू कैन करेक्ट इट. आप बोलिए. अभी भी वही आ रहा है.
तब तक आप
कुछ गड़बड़. अच्छा, okay. Meanwhile, some problem is in audio of Advocate Nilesh Oza. So I'm inviting Dr. Praveen Saxena. Dr. Praveen, he is the member of UHO, Universal Health Organization's Working Committee. Yeah, Dr. Praveen.
Yeah, very good morning, Dr. Peter. And this is, the kind of thing what you have suggested. There is a good body with API, which is called American Physicians from India. And there are some people who are holding a post also. The president is my friend. He's my college mate. And I happened to spoke to these people. And there is a cardiologist out there, and they are just supporting out doctor. There are two cardiologists. There is one family physician from Houston. And they said the moment they wrote ivermectin prescriptions, they got a big kind of feedback, in the sense they were threatened that license will be cancelled just by putting a prescription of ivermectin. And I can always tell you, Indian doctors, what I can understand from them, there are a lot of my friends out there, maybe around in big numbers from the alumni of Usmania Medical College and all that. But all of them, they are practicing, they don't practice cash practice. They are associated with the insurance and all that. And they are scared their license will, so they are just, they are keeping their lips tight. They are not opening up. On the other hand, we are a bunch of doctors here who started looking the work, what you have done, sir. the way you have worked out, and we started giving lectures in our respective IMAs also. We started talking about in our medical circles, and we were quoting Dr. Peter McCullough, Robert Malone. There are a lot of, we were started talking about that. And certainly, Dr. Peter, we believe you are our strength. And yes, we are all, as Dr. Veena, Dr. Maya, everyone has categorically said, we are always with you. And if we can always, you guide us in a proper way, we will definitely try to see how best we can help you from this part. The numbers and the quality of doctors, I can always tell you, the numbers are in multiple numbers. We have immense potential of creating a papers and all that. Only thing is, because of the sheer kind of work, I do practice, I do 30 and 40 cases per day. So the kind of what we are not able to do is documenting is like issue with us. So we started looking at the work of all Marek, and we were quoting all these things. We were trying to tell the other hospitals to follow this vitamin C protocol, melatonin. We started talking about ivermectin, and it's all because of following people like you, sir. And I certainly. We are going to swelling numbers. Only thing, as Dr. Banerjee has said, most of the doctors are on the fence sitter. They are just trying to understand what is the kind of thing. And yes, all of us are with you, sir.
Hey, Dr. Peter, would you reply? Dr. Peter, would you reply?
Yeah, I'll just say that doctors sitting on the fence right now are hurting us. That we need doctors to have courage and to, in a very professional way, speak up for their rights as physicians. The community standard of care is what doctors decide in their practice. It's not decided by the government. The government or the medical boards have no say in what's the standard of care. The standard of care may be as few as one doctor who's treating COVID in a region, and he is that becomes the standard of care. There's always a duty to treat, and we should go back to the fundamentals of medicine. And there's no place for people sitting on the fence when it comes to duty to treat.
Advocate Nilesh has already, he has come. I think, Nilesh ji, are you okay with your audio? Yeah, please go ahead. Bilkul theek hai. Okay, go ahead.
So, doctor, first of all, we all Indians are thankful to you and all your team for giving the research, and we were able to get the orders from the court by showing that research as evidence. It helped us a lot, and we assure you that Indian Bar Association and all our organization will stand with you and will always try to spread the truth and the real science rather than the fake science. I would like to add here a few things. First, there is Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights issued by United Nations. US and almost all the countries in the world are signatory to that declaration. Section 18 of said declaration says that professionalism, honesty, integrity, and transparency in decision making should be promoted. In particular, declaration of all conflicts of interest and appropriate sharing of knowledge. Every endeavor should be made to use the best available scientific knowledge and methodology in addressing and periodically reviewing bioethical issues. Persons and professionals concerned and society as a whole should be engaged in a dialogue on regular basis. Subsection 3, opportunities for informed pluralistic public debate seeking the expression of all relevant opinions should be promoted. So all the bodies and all the pharma mafias who have hijacked the government bodies are using and creating such scenario, and such a situation is there that your data is being censored by Google, by YouTube, by Twitter, by Facebook. Surprising thing is that US government says the information received from US government says that government paid around 7,500 crore rupees for to media for not publishing the side effects of the vaccines. So what it is showing that government officials have joined hands with the vaccine mafias. And what is the benefit of the government in censoring the side effects of the vaccine? The answer is very simple, as our Supreme Court also observed in the judgment, recent judgment, Jacob Pullier's case, that there is no difference between vaccinated and unvaccinated. Vaccinated can also get infected, they can also spread infection, they can die because of the COVID. So there is no difference. On the other hand, the data shows that vaccines are causing death. They are death-causing side effects. There are many. Our government of India data is there, and now recent data as explained by Mr. Amber Kohri. He actually, Mr. Ashutosh joined his designation to me. He is the steering committee member of Awaken India movement. I am Indian Bar Association. Okay, no problem.
No issue.
So as Mr. Amber Kohri said, the recent data of AIMS, the reputed prestigious institute of the government of India, shows that vaccinated are at more risk than the unvaccinated. That is true. And now it got back up from the scientific research given by the AIMS. So under these circumstances, any honest man will support your view and view of the real science. But what is happening here? They are running their false narratives and conspiracy theories and not allowing people to share their views. So in this regard, our Indian constitution is very clear. Our Supreme Court once quoted the saying of philosopher that Voltaire, which is written on the House of Lords in London, that I may disagree with you, but I will fight till death for your right to say your opinions. So
Right.
that is the basic of our Indian constitution, our freedom of expression. It is adopted by all over the world. There are landmark judgments of US Supreme Court, Australian Supreme Courts, Copito's case. In that case, it is said that one person against whole world should not be silenced. He should be allowed to put his views. But now these people, because of their ulterior motives, malignant intentions, are trying to suppress the voice of honest scientists like you. But we will not allow it to happen, and we all are with you. As Abraham Lincoln said, you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. And second thing, which the whole world should follow and adopt, the universal principle of Dr. Martin Luther King, that injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere, and evil tolerated is evil propagated. So we once again reiterate that either Indian Bar Association, Awaken India Movement, Human Rights Security Council, our Bharat Navnirman Abhiyan, Universal Health Organization, all the organization, all the right-minded people are with you and will stand till the last breath. And we will not allow these mafias to get the rid of the people's life and liberty.
Dr. Peter, let me tell you, Dr. Peter, it is not the problem of US. We all are amazed, in fact, that the country of Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln degenerated up to this level. So there is a great leadership crisis all across the world. So we are fighting with them too.
It's true. Let me briefly respond to Barrister. Oh yeah, that was a brilliant oration. And the doctors on the call needed the attorney to review the scientific data and give clear-cut interpretation, which I agree. And he ranged from worldwide principles on freedom of speech all the way through very detailed protections for the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in the United States. So, the message here is there's so much more at stake than just a medical board. This is a very, very big issue.
Yeah, now I would invite Dr. Abhay Chheda if he's in a position to tell something, because I think that what we are watching right now, he's traveling somewhere. Dr. Abhay Chheda is a very leading homeopathy practitioner of India and is very knowledgeable doctor, and he has been fighting COVID mess with us. Dr. Chheda, Dr. Abhay, are you in a position to tell something?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
First of all, the judge can be requested to order the full content of vaccine to all the vaccine manufacturing companies. They declare full content of the vaccine. WTO, World Trade Organization, says there are 9,000 articles required to make a vaccine, or a vaccine manufacturing unit needs 9,000 articles. There only it will be proved that what is injected in the blood of the patient or person is not a vaccine but a toxic chemical cocktail. And this is a strong point which we should drive home to the judge. That's what I wanted to say. Am I audible?
Peter?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We heard you.
Dr. Chheda, let me respond to that by saying that in the United States, under lawsuit, Pfizer was forced to release some of their data. The US FDA wanted to block that information for 55 years. So the FDA is actually trying to cover up Pfizer. And what we learned from Pfizer is they still haven't disclosed the ingredients, the thousands of various potential ingredients. But with Pfizer, there was 1,223 deaths within 90 days of release of Pfizer. And usually up to 50 deaths, they have to take it off the market. Something's gone wrong. Pfizer didn't take it off the market, and the FDA is trying to cover it up. This is in the open.
Dr. Peter, here in India, at least, we have not given any immunity to pharma company. They wanted some immunity from government side, but at least in India, they didn't get any immunity from government. They have to release all the data, all the adverse event, and now it is in public domain, and we are trying to get all the data. And I think that the activist Amber Koiri, engineer Amber Koiri, is on the work, on the right side of the work. So now we want to conclude the session by would Dr. Beena or Dr. Maya or Dr. Banerjee, all three, would you like to speak anything in support of Dr. Peter?
I think in the long
Just
run.
one thing.
Yeah, Dr. Maya, go ahead.
Dr. Banerjee. Okay.
Anyway, I just.
So, as Dr. Peter also said, that Pfizer ultimately, so this pharma mafia, as Advocate Nilesh Oza also said, that this pharma mafia, we are repeatedly using this word pharma mafia. So first thing we will have to do is how to take power from pharma mafia. We can't let our life to be in their hands. That's all. Private hands has to go out of this life-saving industry.
Okay. Yeah, Doctor. Yeah, Nilesh ji. Nilesh, please.
Dr. Peter, through you, this is our one message to whole world, to all the activists, that as mentioned in the book, Napoleon Hill's book, The Law of Success, that every loss, every adversity has a seed of benefit more than it. All adversities are opportunities. So all these problems are there for a big dawn. Big sunrise will be there. And definitely all this pharma mafia, vaccine mafia will be sent to their proper place, that is jail. And they should be. In India, there is death penalty. We have already initiated prosecution against Bill Gates and other vaccine manufacturers. And very soon, with the help of all the right-minded peoples in India, we are hopeful that we will be able to send these people to their right place.
Advocate Nilesh, will you fly down to US to save Dr. Peter?
Anytime, and by God's grace, it will not require, because by seeing the support, worldwide support, they will go on back foot. Today I was reading the letter sent by US Senate Mr. Roy Johnson on 15th June 2022 to Richard Barron. So in US also there are very like-minded and fighters are there. Mr. Rand Paul is also there. So
getting justice in US is a very costly affair, and after all, he is a doctor. How come he will pay the fees?
Don't worry. Less of me, more of we. We are all are united.
Yeah, we have to tell Dr. Peter, and we are telling with all responsibility and accountability that we shall gather all the like-minded people from all across world, from Europe, from England, from Australia, from everywhere. We are trying to get all people on board, on the same page, so that Dr. Peter do not lose any hope. We all Indians are with you. Dr. Beena, and Dr. Banerjee and Amberji would also like to say something. Dr. Beena.
Yes, doctor, I would like to tell you, like, I've been an anesthetist and I worked as an intensivist, and right through the second wave of COVID, that was in April, May of 2020. And I've seen the whole thing where we were forced to, proclaim all deaths as COVID deaths. And we were forced to give remdesivir to patients. And, actually I walked out of the hospital during that time because I wouldn't wear a PPE kit. And since then we've been fighting. So this is a simple disease which can be treated by ordinary simple measures. You just lay in bed for a week and you'll be all right. And these guys are making a big issue out of it, and trying to so I'm glad that you've taken the baton in US, and there's a lot of people who join in your relay, and we would all love to fight and get through this. Thank you for your support, Doctor.
Thank you.
Dr. Banerjee.
I think in the long run, truth will prevail. And what is the maximum strength we have now at journalists? Investigative journalists have come forward. Advocates like Nilesh Oja have come forward. Doctors have come forward. Each of us in isolation were helpless, particularly doctors. They are busy. Scientists, they don't know how to go about it. In fact, Ashutosh dug me out. Then I got in contact with Advocate Nilesh Oja, and our interaction has been so intimate that I have understood a lot of legal terms, and I think Dr. Advocate Nilesh, in fact, that's why I'm wearing a black coat today, because lawyers wear black coat. So this
so
type
we have
of
given So we have given a title to title of doctor to Advocate Nilesh Ojha.
Yes.
And
So
Dr.
I think,
Banerjee has become advocate attorney.
And at least it is all over. We have connected with people across the globe, and this is something good, which, as the Advocate Ojha also said, ki something good comes out of bad also. So I am very optimistic. Thank you. All the best.
So Dr. Amber Query, now I am giving you a title, Engineer Amber Query. I am giving you the top title, Dr. Amber Query. Yeah, Amberji, please. Last comment.
Sorry, my mic was off.
Yeah.
With the knowledge I'm getting from all of you, many places I'm already being called a doctor. So I'm not a doctor, but all the data which I get from you. Just want to add, Dr. Peter, just now it has been flashed. UK, they got a new data from the unvaccinated, 300,000 individuals who did not receive COVID-19 vaccine. In fact, severe COVID was rare. People who didn't get the vaccine as per the survey. So very good data just flashed in. So we are winning, and the data is coming from all over. And our wholehearted support to you, our prayers for you and your team. And yes, we are with you, sir.
Dr. Peter, no one can strip your license. We can tell you with all conviction and responsibility, no one can strip your license, Dr. Peter. We all Indian will fly down to US. Don't worry.
Well, thank you so
Dr.
much.
Peter.
Thank you for the wonderful support. You know, American Board of Internal Medicine is in a historical grounds right now. They are attacking two of the most published doctors in the history of the world. And, you know, they rely on many of the new knowledge that we've both created over the course of our careers. So this will go down in history. The support from India is wonderful. And I wanted to reinforce what Dr. Banerjee said. What's really needed is investigative journalism. That's what's really needed right now. Not the doctors so much. It's investigative journalists to get what's gone on is a true crime. It's a worldwide crime. I've written a book. It's available on Amazon. It's called Courage to Face COVID-19, Preventing Hospitalizations and Deaths While Battling the Biopharmaceutical Complex. Courage to Face COVID-19 is on Amazon. If you can support that book in India, it's done very well. It's a bestseller on Amazon, but it tells in a story, it tells about the development of the treatment of COVID-19 and how it's suppressed by a variety of stakeholders in a complex syndicate. But there is a syndicate, a worldwide syndicate, that is absolutely focused on mass vaccination.
Doctor, thank you.
Can I say, Ashutosh, can we have the contact of people, whom we can pass on the data? Like if we have the attorney who is proceeding the case, we can send in the data about what is there in the vaccines as an eye opener.
Yes, the attorney is Tom Renz, and we'll get you his information. RENZ.
Yeah, one request for Peter. We are trying to align with a lot of doctors who are on the fence. Basically, they are not decided. We request you, even if it takes something like 20 minutes, something like a video call and all that. It will be great actually, because we are trying to assimilate all these doctors, and there'll be a bunch of about 80 to 100 doctors. We'll put them on online, and if you can just put across a kind of 20-minute session from you, then we will follow it up. It will add a much more impetus on our struggle, and it will definitely help you. All these people are, only thing is, once they listen from authority like you, they'll be more kind of this. They'll start acting. That's the kind of thing I would.
So thank you, Dr. Peter. Thank you to all. Some problem occurred in between, don't worry. And thank you, Dr. Peter, for for being with us and all the panelists.
उनका स्क्रीन हैंग हो
So we
गया
are going to off this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Ashutosh, I think this was very good actually.
पूरा carton है ना,
और,